We've all been brought up with the fact that good timing equals playing in time, and in time is easily measurable with the click of a metronome. And we gotta keep our playing to the grid of the old unforgiving metronome. It's the device that brings our playing and rhythm to perfection. Or is it? Recently I was listening to some good old Jimi Hendrix when I noticed something peculiar in the song Bold as Love. Let's have a listen.
Anger, he smiles, towering in shiny metallic purple armor. Queen.
So here on screen we see the waveform of the song. It's a beautiful song. It's 2 steps up because of the obvious reasons, but it sounds beautiful. One thing I couldn't help but notice was that it was speeding up and slowing down just a bit. It didn't bother me at all by any means, but I wondered what happened if we put a metronome to this track. So with this app I can just tap the tempo and we should be good.
Anger, he smiles, towering in shiny metallic purple armor. Queen jealousy, envy waits behind him. Her fiery green gown sneers at the grassy ground. Blue are the life-giving waters taken for granted. They quietly understand.
That clearly didn't work. The tempo of the song is going all over the place. But what we can do is actually make it visible and see how much the tempo is actually fluctuating by automating the metronome to accommodate the tempo changes. So I made sure every first beat of the song landed exactly on the beat. So this is bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, and just made sure that each beat was on that spot. We can do so by dragging up or down the tempo. So it starts at 127 BPM, as we can see over here. Let's enable the metronome.
Anger, he smiles, towering in.
You see, and so far so good, it's still 127. But now you see that the BPM is going up from 127 to 130.
Shiny metallic purple arm.
That way, this note falls on beat 1 of bar 4 in this case.
Shiny metallic purple armor. Queen jealousy, envy waits behind.
Then it's slowly decreasing again.
Fiery green gown sneers at the grassy ground.
But there all of a sudden when the bend comes in, it jumps from, well, 129 to 137. That's almost 10 BPM faster.
The ground. Blue are the life-giving waters taken for granted. They quietly understand. Once happy turquoise armies lay opposite ready. But wonder why the fight is on. But there are.
So the breakdown just before the chorus is super slow. It starts at 132 instead of 146. So that bar with the triplets, da 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 cam, that's way too slow. It's played way too slow. Now we clearly see Jimmy speeds up and he slows down a little bit again. I've been told to practice with a metronome all the time. Also, I was rushing when I was studying guitar and it took me years to develop a steady groove. Wait, but now I'm confused. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about Jimi Hendrix. So why did nobody ever said he had bad timing? Well, because he didn't. I dare to bet that no one ever said about the song Bold as Love, yeah, it's a good tune, but too bad Hendrix f***ed the intro. So what's happening then? Back in the days, and I mean before computers, when music was recorded, people just started playing. They had their own rhythms and not a computer telling them how fast everything should be. And that resulted into fluctuations in tempo, speeding up, slowing down, all because it feels more natural to the player that way. Usually when listening to all their songs, let's say Led Zeppelin, AC/DC for example, the verses would be in a certain tempo and the choruses would speed up a little bit. So here's the song Highway to Hell for example. It started out pretty moderately at 113. And it stays around 115, 114 pretty much all the time till we go to the chorus. This is just very natural to us. When it gets more exciting, like choruses usually are, we just increase the tempo a little bit. In the song Bold as Love, it becomes louder in the chorus, for example, but also when the bend comes in, it becomes a little bit faster, just hitting you in the face. Another example of this is the song Little Wing. Do you see all the fluctuations in tempo? Let's see. See, it's a sort of saw wave. It goes up, it goes down. The intro, there's a huge spike. And it's all about groove, playing in the pocket. Timing is not being able to play everything exactly on the beats. It's about feeling the beats and playing to it and not on it per se. This question on Reddit hits the nail on the head, if you ask me, where someone asks, how does Hendrix playing sound so relaxed and in the groove or in the pocket? And the answer that's given is, I think part of it is that Jimi wasn't always playing perfectly in the pocket. However, he was always perfectly in his pocket. He will subtly stretch or compress time and even ride the back side of the beat, which gives that a very relaxed feel. And that's exactly what we saw with Bold as Love, with Little Wing. And I bet you can do the same with every song he ever recorded. Drummers that groove the most aren't the ones that perfectly divide a bar into 8 exactly the same notes when you're playing 8th notes. Here's a clip of Questlove talking about the most liberating moment he ever had.
Oh, so all this pleasing my father, being perfect, I can now
Do you hear how the accents are totally off to the click? If you would, you probably could get it spot on, but it doesn't always sound better. Often it's too sterile, and it's no different for guitarists. And that's exactly what Hendrix was doing. And that makes me wonder, is that what's lacking in so many music nowadays? And why is that? Some say the music is ruined by the grid, recording with a click and quantizing. The grid came to life and music was recorded on computers instead of on tape. This allowed for a more mathematical approach to recording music. If everyone in the band played to the grid, which basically is a metronome beeping in the musician's ears, all the recorded parts would align automatically, perfectly. No need to play together, making recording much easier. First you do the drums, then the bass, then the guitars, then the vocals, and there you have it. Your full band's performance, all perfectly aligned to the metronome. And now it makes a total sense to me why I practiced with a metronome all these years. Exactly for this reason. When you're going to a studio, you're going to totally mess up if you've never played with a click. And it's pretty difficult when you play it for the first time. Luckily, punching in to fix an error in your track could be easily achieved. Just track 2 bars again, where you made a little mistake. And, well, there you have it. You know what? Why not copy the 3rd chorus to the 4th chorus? It's all the same. It doesn't matter. Look, here's a little mistake. This note doesn't fall on the grid precisely. So, you know what? Let's just slide it. Bam. So now it falls perfectly on the beat. Okay, that's nice. You know what? Why not just select the entire thing and just quantize the shit of everything? Now we got the perfect recording. It's perfect in a visual way, but not in a musical way. Perfection would be that you feel the musician coming through the notes that they're playing. It's an interpretation, it's their way of communicating what they have to say, and timing and rhythm is an expression a musician can use to get the desired effect they want. When you take out these elements, you just killed something in a recording, and please let nobody ever tell you that you have to play it perfectly in order to make it sound good. Where do we find that kind of playing nowadays? The gritty, rough character of Page, of Young, of May, of Hendrix. Is it really something that got lost forever? Is everything too sterile and too perfect? Is the life squeezed out of the recording by just quantizing everything? So here's a modern day take on this. So this is the song Stronger Now in Broken Places by Joe Bonamassa, and we can see the entire song is played in 63 BPM and it falls exactly on the grid every time.
Take it.
It doesn't matter where I play. So if you don't like the intro, move it everywhere. And, you know, mixing up this to here.
He left me.
Why not play this song without a click? To me it makes no sense playing a song just guitar and vocals to a metronome. Well, I feel like we've been listening so much to perfection in the modern era of music that if something sounds a bit off in a recording, it would stand out so much that it would never make the record. And even if it does, it would never make the radio. Even live performances get fixed and polished into absurdity. Watching Hendrix on Woodstock, all the rough edges made you feel the necessity of the music. The delivery was a big part of the message shown on stage. Today we are used to singing competitions with auto-tune. Doesn't that say it all? So is the metronome a useless tool then? Well, absolutely not. I would still advise anyone wanting to improve their timing to practice with a metronome. And I feel like we gotta make a distinction between the grid and a metronome. You can play natural with a metronome, sure. The same thing you can play natural with a drummer, because he can be your metronome. If you're new to this, it may feel a little bit restrained by it at the beginning, but that's easily fixed by just doing it a lot. Hendrix sped up and slowed down, but if he would be playing to a metronome, he would still add these artistic expressions to his playing. The rhythms, the feels, making it still sound like Jimi Hendrix. But what's dangerous is the over-perfectionizing or the quantizing of music. It takes the human element out of it, and it's the lazy approach, to be honest. It's fake and it's not authentic or genuine. So please, producers of modern day pop songs, future guitar heroes, listen to some Hendrix, Zeppelin and AC/DC before writing or recording your next hit, and accept that these imperfections or human performances just exist and leave them be. For the next generation of music that accepts musicians for who they are, humans and not robots. So anyway, this video will probably be claimed for playing some parts of Hendrix songs, meaning that I will make nothing with this video. And that's why I like to thank my patrons over at patreon.com/pauldavids for making this video possible. It's because of them I don't have to worry about these things anymore. So, thank you so much, and please consider joining. Links below. Have a lovely day. Gently hit that like button if you learn anything or if you feel inspired by this video. I hope you do. Leave your thoughts below and have a wonderful day. Cheers.